This week, joining me is SABC digital news producer, Mr. Oguhle Magaba. Oguhle, what a pleasure. Good afternoon.
Hey, how you doing?
I'm good, thank you. A very busy week on the social media side this week, but of course, let's start with this one. Many Vodacom subscribers this week were left without airtime and data, and of course, after it started disappearing from their accounts on Sunday evening. What have the people on social media been saying?
Well, man, Vodacom had a big backlash from a lot of people, especially on the backdrop of like people wanting data to go down as well. So now data just disappearing. We have Luvuyo who said at Vodacom has shown the slightest amount of courtesy, decency, and respect for our customers. And then we also go on to Tuli, who says, dear at Vodacom, please refund at Whimsy and others urgently. For many, this means loss of employment and study opportunities, amongst other losses. We also have Nana, who says, at Vodacom, what nonsense is this? Data depleted, bought 1 gig again and couldn't use it because your network is slow. I wake up and it's not there. And then we have KK, who says, waiting impatiently for my refund. If I don't get it back, today will be our last day in a customer-client relationship.
Oh my goodness.
So that's how you see like people really weren't happy with what happened from like Sunday evening, if I'm not mistaken, to Sunday morning.
My goodness. Well, the recourse in that is that, Vodacom has since, given people extra or free data or something like that. Have people been appreciative of that? That recourse measure on social media?
Yeah, later on they were somewhat happy about that. But then again, if they can, if data disappears and then they give you double, it also raises a question about the data pricing as well. Like, if they can give like double of what you had, then why is data so expensive?
Absolutely. I suppose that's the big question. Let's now look at Stats South Africa. A new poverty report was released by Stats South Africa, shows that 30 million people in the country are currently living below the poverty line, and most of those are women, and not just any women, rural women. That is so concerning, August.
Yes, that's one of the saddest actually trends that we had this week. It's like, look at this, it's like the number is like 30 million people,
Out of a country of what, 55 million?
Exactly, so that's like almost over half of it, so it's actually, it is half our population.
It's like 2/3.
And those are sad stats, So we have Luvuyo, who says, so more than 30 million of our people live in poverty while the fat cats are living large. Sad. Hashtag Stats SA. And then we have Van Helden, who says SA needs entrepreneurship and economic revolution, not the mall economy, manufacturing for exports like China, Japan from the 1950s. Hashtag Stats SA.
Let's take Basi there. She says the results are indeed not surprising. We need to go back to the drawing board, revise our priorities as a country. Very interesting indeed. Let's see if we've got more views on Twitter there.
We have Godfrey, who said the most recent poverty SA poverty statistics and the looming retrenchment paint a gloomy medium-term prospect for the country. Hashtag Stats SA. And as you can see, people are like, others are somewhat not shocked, and then others saying we need to review where the country is and where the country can go.
Did you get a sense of that a lot of people that were tweeting actually understood how the stats actually are gathered and communicated to the public?
Well, because obviously it's social media. So social media, they grab bites. They grab bites and then they actually like literally go on the bites. And then
maybe we should start a trend that is going to educate them about how these stats are actually gathered. Because a lot of people will argue that maybe these stats are not so true. They're based on previous years' accounts, and it might not be, the present time. But let's look at another big story this week. Oak Bay on Wednesday said that it would be selling its mining unit Tegeta for 2.97 billion rand to the Switzerland-based Charles King South Africa, days after selling NN7 and of course the New Age newspaper. What has been the reactions on social media?
Well, hey,
I can tell you, I saw a couple of memes there, but I want to give you the floor. What are we looking at here?
It's like there'll be also racial undertones, by the way. attached to these hashtags. So we have Olisu says, if Manyi is fronting for the Guptas, then forward with it. White people have been fronting for BEE status since AA enactment. So as you can see, and
trust people to bring that up. Issa Tuhazad says, if NN7 and the New Age was sold to some white man under the same conditions, there would be praises now that it's about to turn around.
Yes.
Interesting thought.
So and it's like and then we even have Praveen who says Tegeta is no longer corrupt because it is now owned by a white person. Now referring to the Tegeta 2.8 billion sale, and there won't be noise either as to how the deal was structured, and then referring again to the money in that subtext. And then we can also move on to the Maragana and Nkosazana Dlamini Zuma.
Absolutely. I mean, Amku says that ANC presidential hopeful Dr. Nkosazana Dlamini Zuma was prevented from laying a wreath at the Kopi out in Maragana because the union and the widows were actually not consulted before all this happened. Haibo, what is the story here, Gugus?
Well, like it came out on Monday, if I'm not mistaken, where Nkosazana Dlamini Zuma was chased from the copy from laying a wreath, as you just said. And we have hashtag save essays like I walked hashtag Maragana trenches with Advocate Dalimpof and others with a conscience. I begged at my ANC to stand with us, but silence. And DZ must sit down, saying like they should just sit down. And then
look, George Mukabele says there's no love without trust. Hashtag relationship and personal advices. Hashtag George is there for you. Hashtag Maragana. What is he saying?
He's literally saying that he's giving me advice. Yeah. That just understand there's no relationship without what's this, trust, basically. Yeah. And then we have
Salty Pancake. What is he saying?
All I want to say is that they don't really care about us. Hashtag
quoting the Michael Jackson song there.
Exactly.
Let's look at the last tweet from Simon Gwinded. Said, SA still asking why an unemployed private citizen is getting presidential security with 24/7 blue lights convoy. Why?
You know, so now that was directly at Nkosazana Dlamini Zuma. But then, as you can see, like a lot of these the tweets, they go to party politics. They go back to racial undertones that we have in the country as well.
That really have not healed when it comes to the issues of Maragana. Obuhle Magaba, SABC digital news producer, live with us here in studio to tell us about the social media trends this week.